Welcome back to our Puredata tutorial. So this is the last exercise we have completed by the use of the particle system. So we have investigated the use of particle system to generate a number of those particles. We specify the number of sources and the age of the particles. We also specify the velocity in form of a sphere in different direction and the radius of the sphere. We specify different kinds of forces. So in this example, we use the orbit point force, which is a point source of force in a three-dimensional space, and we can also specify the strength of the force. We also look into the use of different color by putting in two different colors for the particles. So after that, we'll try to investigate the use of more advanced graphical information. For example, we will drop the part draw objects over here and replace it with another one in order to, for example, replace all those particles by real three-dimensional objects. So in the very beginning, so this particular page will create source of particle in this form. And we can change the color and the speed of this one, and also the number of source and the age, and also the use of the strength of the force. So those are the parameters we have experimented before. And in this particular example, we try to enhance it by first removing the part draw command. And instead, we'll replace it with another one called part render. So everything from the original particle system will send to us to this part render. And then the next one, we'll try to insert another 3D primitive objects. For example, we can make use of a sphere. And in order to control the appearance of the sphere, we have come across two different parameters in the past. So the two other inlets are actually, first is the size of the sphere, and the second one will be the level of details. So that is how many size of the polygon you would like to use it to represent the sphere. So if you have a number which is larger, the sphere will look more like a sphere. So we can replace it with this particular command, a combination of the part render and a sphere. So of course you can also use other form of the 3D objects or even 2D objects over here. So what we are going to do is try to customize this particular sphere. So this is the default one. So you can see a kind of polygon in 2D form. So in order to enhance the polygon, you can actually change the size or the level of details of this particular sphere. So when it go to some position like 20 something, so it look like more smooth in form of a sphere. And the other parameter, the second one, is actually the size. So we can use a smaller number. So those are the number you can experiment with if you have a larger one or smaller one. So usually in a particle system, you prefer to use a smaller size in order to make appearance the particles in form of a smaller one in order to compose a group of bigger effect. So you can also enhance by changing the strength and other parameter. Okay, so in this case, when you take a closer look to this particular visual display, you can see that most of the particles or individual particles, they looked like 2D shape instead of 3-dimensional graphics. But actually, we have been using the sphere, which is a 3D primitive shape, in order to represent each one of the individual particles. So the reason that we do not have those appearance of 3-dimensional models or objects is that we do not have the light. So actually, we haven't enabled the lighting in the 3-dimensional scene, such that at this point of time it looks only like 2D shape. So in order to enable the lighting, we take a look of the parameter of the jam window. So actually, you can put in a lot of parameters to control, for example, the background color, the lighting, the ambient light, the other forms of the light where you can use. And one of the parameters we are going to use is the lighting toggle. So we'll use a toggle to enable and disable the lighting in the overall window. So the next step is we try to add one more message. And put in a toggle to turn on and off the lighting options. So in that case, we can rerun the whole patch. And then to redo what we have done in the last couple of seconds. Maybe I can just type in the source and the age, and also the force, the color, and also the size of the sphere, and the level of details. So this is the original particle system without the lighting. So actually, when we enable the light, everything disappears. So the reason for the disappearance of those particles is that we haven't tell the system what type of light we're trying to do in the whole 3D scenes. So in that case, we have to add in another options. So this one is we try to put a light in the whole scene and use this light to light up the whole environment. And because a piece of light is actually another graphical item, so we also have to use this one, the gem head, in order to tell the graphical processing system to process in this particular thread under the gem head. So we'll use something we call the world light in order to light up the whole environment or the ambient. So if you take a look of the parameter, this usually comes with two. The first one is the gem head list, and the other one will be the color you would like to use for the light. For example, I can use a neutral one, which is the white light. And another with the color effect, I can use a red one. So dependent on which message you're going to click, so it tries to set the light in different color. So this is the situation without the lighting option enabled. So I can enable the lighting. So you can see the default lighting situation, which is the white one. So the objects around here looked more like a three-dimensional sphere. So if you would like to have a clear look, I can enlarge the size of the sphere a little bit. And of course, you can use other color, which is the red one. So this appearance will be in the normal white color situation. And you can disable. Just go back to the original 2D version. Enable. And for the rest of the parameter, you can manipulate to have a look of the different graphical effect, which is just the same we have done in the 2D version. So this exercise is a simple demonstration of what we can achieve by replacing the original 2D lines and points by using the partial render and also a graphical shape like a sphere. And in order to achieve a more realistic effect, so we replaced the original 2D rendering into a 3D one by setting up the lighting condition over here with different forms of or different colors of the world light for the overall environment.